welcome back to another week of high school football results here at Beyond the Scoreboard with Coach Alan Dunklin and myself, Mark Smothers. It's good to be with you. It's nice to have some sponsors that we have too. Bill Smith, the #1 volume dealer in the state of Alabama, and there's a reason for that. There's people that come from all over there to get some of the deals that they have. And they do have some great deals. You need to go by and check it out if you happen to be in the market for a new car or truck. And then you have Target Pest Control. And Target does a very good job of, if you need just a termite inspection or if you need them to come and do a treatment, that would be what they prefer. And then maybe a termite bund on a new building. So anyway, Target Pest Control, check with them. And then Citizens Bank and Trust, it's on Highway 31 and 278. Well, it's actually on 278, just across the railroad track from 31. And they have some great banking checking programs, which pays unreal on your checking account. So anyway, check out some of those deals, and I think you'll be glad you did. Air times on Saturday, well, tonight at 10:30, but then again on Saturday at 1 p.m. and again at 5 p.m. On Sunday, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Wednesday night, 7 p.m. and Thursday at 9 p.m. on Charter Channel 80, or you can go online at WCQT TV 27, Facebook and YouTube. So anyway, love to have you come and, just check us out through the week and see what's going on, and then call us and correct us with our mistakes.
Yeah. Also, you left out probably the most important sponsor, or at least my favorite sponsor, which is Domino's Pizza, always providing us with a couple of pizzas post-game or post-games. And they're allowing folks that if you'll order online this week from Domino's Pizza, you can get 50% off of those orders if they're online. Got to be an online order.
And that Supreme, again, unreal. Very good. As good as you can get. So check out Domino's. Try them out. If you don't like them, call us and complain. But I don't think we'll
get any calls.
I don't think we'll get any calls. I think they're great. All right, we're going to come back with the Scoreboard in just a minute after this commercial break.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers. They're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your card. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC, third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termidor protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
First six-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
All right, here we are back. We've got a few probable surprises, and then we got some that probably came out pretty much the way you expected them. But Coach Dunklin's going to give us some rundown on the scores from tonight.
Yeah, we'll start out as we always do in that 2A Region 5. Pretty close ball game tonight. You know, Gordo put it all over Fayette County 4A last week, and this week struggled a little bit, but with a perennial power, and that being Aliceville. Those two going head-to-head tonight, and Gordo with a win, 21-20. Cold Springs on the road. They're at Berry tonight. They fall 43-15. Cold Springs 1-1 on the season. You got Southeastern big winners over Brindley Mountain, 49-0. Sulligent over Lamar County as they travel over to the far side of the state and come up with a win, 23-20. Summerton Christian falls to Decatur Heritage, 42-6. Tarrant blanked by Midfield, 22-0. Winston County gets their second win in as many weeks, 38-18 over Meek.
Okay, now next week, Cold Springs will be going to Southeastern, who won big tonight.
Well, they'll be hosting Southeastern.
Yep. And
you know, both of them 1-1, open region play versus one another. Should be a good ball game over in Cold Springs, over in Bremen, Alabama.
Mm-hmm. And Winston County will be at Addison.
A little bit of a rivalry there. Would you say a little bit of a rivalry there?
They love each other.
Yeah, yep. So
sort of like Alabama Auburn. Yep.
Times 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
2A Region 7. Speaking of Addison falls tonight to 3A perennial power Piedmont, 28-16. Addison now 1-1 on the season. Colbert County 2-0 in that region as they defeat Cherokee High School 48-0. Hatton over West Morgan 20-9. Red Bay late squeaks one out against Phil Campbell 30-20. Sheffield falls hard to Mars Hill 48-6, and you have Clements over Tanner 48-14. 3A Region 5.
A couple of surprises on that one. These Sheffield and Tanner, two losers tonight, are usually
in the thick of things.
They're in the thick of things, and that could be a change for them.
Yeah, you know, Tanner had a rare off year last year, looking to rebound this year, but right now 0-2. You know, opening up region play, and it's not going to be an easy one as they go to Colbert County next week.
Nope, sure won't. All right, now most of these next week's games, most of them are going to be region play.
Mm-hmm, most of them, handful of them.
There's a few of them that won't, like Addison and Winston County, not region play. But most of them will be region play starting next week. All right, go ahead.
All right, 3A Region 5, you had Fultondale with a bye. Hanceville falling to Fairview tonight. Coach Redding, we'll speak to him here in just a little bit. Fairview gets back in the win column 41-6. Holly Pond in a game that not indicative of the way that they play. Several turnovers early on in that ball game, giving up some critical field position, but still managed to hold on to a 2-0 lead. But Eider comes back in the second half and outdistanced Holly Pond 17-2. You got Susan Moore over J.B. Pennington 20-0. You got Locust Fork in a close one over Cleveland 39-37. We've given you the Tarrant score earlier as they fall to midfield, and big game for Vinemont tonight as they get a big win at Faultville 32-21.
32-21, big win over Faultville, who last year, and I think they're expecting to have a pretty good year this year back in the playoffs. So, of course, Faultville has been reassigned to 1A. So, that's one of the things there, but still very tough. I think they wound up with like a 9 or 10 win season last year.
Yeah, deep in the playoffs around third round, and had a good season, and the expectations are big at Faultville, but Vinemont with a big win gets off to a 1-0 start. I know Max Prep has them at 2-0, but last week was a preseason game listed as Jamboree game against East Lawrence. 4A Region 5, Cordova falls to Hamilton 19-14. Oakman all over Curry 32-13. Fayette County back in the win column this week as they defeat Winfield on the road 21-7. Good Hope, winners of, I believe, let's see if I can do my math, 13 of the last 15 ball games as they win tonight and get a big win over Priceville 41-26 to improve to 2-0 on the season. Haleyville, big winners over Central of Florence 33-16. Northside back in the win column as they beat Brookwood across town 40-0. Oak Grove falls to Corner 45-0. So that Region 4A, 4A Region 5 gets in the win column. As last week, Good Hope was the only one in that region that got a win.
Yep.
All right, 4A Region 7, Brewer defeats Danville 37-8. DAR 42, Douglas 6. We gave you the Fairview score earlier. North Jackson 35, Plainview 36. Plainview squeaks one out at home against North Jackson. Chiefs,
well, that's a big win.
That's a big win for Plainview.
Yes.
Big win for Plainview. We gave you the Priceville Good Hope score. A score that kind of surprised me a little bit tonight. Lauderdale County 40, Randolph out of Huntsville 15. Not so much the score in terms of who won the game, but the score in terms of the distance between the two point-wise. St. John Paul improves 2-0 on the year as they defeat East Lawrence 37-13. And we gave you the Hatton score and West Morgan score earlier. 5A Region 7, Corner off to a 2-0 start as they defeat Oak Grove 45-0. Dora 42-14 over Carbon Hill. They're at 2-0. Hamilton defeats Cordova 19-14. And Hayden defeats Aniana 14-7. Jasper had a bye week this week after a win at home last week against Coleman. They'll be at home again next week as they face off against Region 4 Dora. You've got Madison Academy upending Lawrence County 17-7. How about Russellville and Deschler? Two proud programs, not very far from one another in overtime. Russellville pulls out the win 27-21 at Deschler. West Point falling tonight as they travel on the road to Arab. Arab with a 49-35 win. Any scores in 5A Region 7 there, Coach, that just kind of jumps out at you?
Well, I was a little surprised that they seem to be winning most of them. Mm-hmm. Seems like West Point may be in a pretty tough region this time.
They're in a tough region. Right now, that Region 2 losses on the year overall between all those programs. Of course, that's about to change.
And I'd say Hayden over Aniana was my biggest surprise.
Yes. Okay. 6A Region 7, you got Athens, kind of the flip side of that 5A Region 7. You know, we're looking at 3 wins total on the season, and 2 of those teams have those wins. As Athens tonight falls to Gardendale, a little bit of surprise for me, 21-14. Albertville all over Columbia, 61-0. Coleman falls at Mortimer Jordan in a close one, as Mortimer Jordan kind of opens up brand new stadium down there, and they get a win 20-17 over the Bearcats. You've got Austin all over Decatur, 56-14. Big win tonight by Hartselle to get them into the win column as they defeat Brooks 49-29. And of course, you got Muscle Shoals at 2-0, 46. Bob Jones 19.
Muscle Shoals seems to be the Muscle
Shoals of old, yeah.
Of that region. But one good thing now, I think you said Austin pretty much put it on Decatur. Mm-hmm. Coleman gets to open up their home game next week against Decatur. And they've just lost to their crosstown rival. So it might be a really good time to get them on the schedule.
Yeah, to bounce back and get them on the schedule and have them at home.
Okay. All right, we got a little bit of game footage right now, and while we're watching Good Hope and Priceville, we're going to try to get Coach Scott on the phone and talk with him a little bit. He's 2-0. As you see, the Good Hope Raiders coming out on the field. Cameraman knew which one to get a hold of there, didn't he? Short kick, fair catch. So Good Hope gets really good field position to start the game.
Coach Scott?
Hello.
Hey.
Sir.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. I noticed that start with you seem to be throwing the ball a little more than I anticipated, but there's a gang tackle by them, 4 or 5 of them on you, guy. But anyway, I thought that the second half, didn't y'all go back to running the ball a little bit more?
Well, yes, sir. We was just trying to take what they gave us. To start off with, they really were keying on Colton, and I thought they did a good job kind of trying to take him out of the game plan. And we really had a couple of good looks. We just missed. It was really close there early on. I think that could have really helped us score a couple touchdowns. But I'm going to tell you something. Priceville came out tonight and was very physical on both sides of the ball. So I was very impressed with how hard they played.
Yeah, as we're looking at their running back there, he's breaking a few tackles and doing a very good job running hard. But Bagwell, I think, from what I heard, had a really good second half.
Yes, sir. I think, according to our stat guy, he finished with 24 carries for 209 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Oh, that used to be a good game for anybody. The whole team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So he, as the second half went on, he kind of wore on him a little bit. And again, our offensive line did a great job opening those holes up, and he was hitting them and making good reads. So that was opened up a little bit there in the second half.
That was the next thing I was going to ask. If a running back does well, it's because he gets to get started. And who gets him started? The offensive line. Mm-hmm. So I thought you may have a couple of guys there that you wanted to give a shout out to, or maybe even all of them as you go across.
Yes, sir. I'd just rather mention them all. We've got Dawson Putman, Morgan Cook, Cody Dye, Jackson Dillashaw, and Trevor Pace are starting 5, and they played a really solid game tonight. Of course, it wasn't perfect, but they got after it. And like I said, in the second half, I felt like our guys started winning those battles that were kind of going both ways early on, and we started kind of winning more than we lost. So that was good to see.
Well, that's usually a pretty good job of the coaching staff, though, also at halftime making some adjustments or defining, maybe even putting a few plays aside that, this is just not going to work tonight. So, you zero in on the plays that's going to work.
Yeah, Coach Witcher does a really good job. He's got a great offensive mind. Coach Dillashaw, Coach McCullough, Coach Weaver, all those guys just really do a great job getting our guys in the right place and talking to one another and trying to make those adjustments. So yeah, I mean it was neck and neck all night long, just back and forth, and we just kind of were able to pull away a little bit there in the fourth quarter late, but it was a dogfight really.
Well, you open region play next week. You on the road to Cordova, get to go over there to the famous pit and tee it up for region round 1. So going into next week, you kind of got an idea of what you need to work on and focus on to get ready for the Blue Devils over in Cordova?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, really what we learned about ourselves tonight, well, a couple things. One, we didn't have a great week of practice. I felt like, we just didn't have it. And, as coaches, sometimes it's like that, and your kids can kind of fake it a little bit, but, you try to explain to them, hey, I don't think we're ready. I don't think we're, tuned in. And so I'm hoping that we learned a lot there about preparation. We're very young. And it's hard for them to really understand what that looks like on the varsity level to be prepared, but we're figuring it out, and so that'll go a long way. And the other thing is defensively tonight, we just gave up big plays. They never really drove the ball down the field and scored on us, but man, they popped 4 big ones. And so just playing your technique, making sure you're in the right place, and securing the tackle is something that we'll try to focus on this week.
Yep, and Cordova, usually has one or two guys that can make big plays.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach.
They're very dangerous.
Thank you
Yes.
for being on the phone with us tonight. Good luck to you next week, and congratulations. Good start, 2-0.
Thank you, sir.
All right, band of the week this week. We have, guess who?
Who is
Good
band,
Hope-
the Good Hope Raiders, filmed by
Good Hope Raiders. Okay. All right, here we are.
At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our top priority. Online statements eliminate the risk of your financial information getting lost in the mail. The statement can be viewed online at home or on the go, and you'll receive your statements faster each month. Plus, signing up is easy. At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our priority. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for internet messaging and data may apply.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound. or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termidor protects before termites become a problem, because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
All right, here we are back with Beyond the Scoreboard. We're going to go over a couple of other games that were played tonight. One was a Holly Pond and Niter game, which Holly Pond unfortunately came up on the short end of that one, 17-2. All right, and so we have some footage of that one. We were out there watching it, and some of the things that cost them the game are things that they can easily overcome. So they will be able to improve upon just mainly ball handling. I'm sure Coach Bates will be working on that hard this week.
Securing the football and things that are correctable.
Yep. Okay. And they had some pretty good kid play by most of it, especially defensively. And have few started out, I thought they was going to be able to just run it down their throat, but they weren't able to continue that pace. They may have gotten a little tired or something, but anyway, it just didn't turn out exactly as we had hoped it would. But when we left, I guess they could blame us for that, though.
And it could be. It was 2-0 when we left.
That's right. So we had them on top.
Had them where they needed to be, and just couldn't sustain that momentum going, and really just couldn't get anything going consistently. Yep.
Well, I thought Niter had a couple of kids that were extremely quick too. They had some backs that could make some big plays. So I'm not sure if we're going to have that footage on or not, but Holly Pond and Niter was we were out there to start with, and Holly Pond, I think Coach Bates told me they had 2 starters back from last year.
Yeah, young group. I think Kyler Cheney kind of anchors that. He plays, plays both ways, defense, offense. He punts. He,
returns punts.
Yeah. And so kind of he's one of the key ones that's back. And we had an opportunity, and folks get to see him here in a little bit as we interview 3 young men from the Broncos squad, but he kind of helps anchor that young bunch, and they're doing some good things. They just got to start eliminating mistakes. I thought that really kind of wore on them as the game went on.
Yeah, if you are having trouble, especially on quarterback center exchange, they had 2 or 3 of those, and then some other exchange problems, but. If those things are happening, sometimes it sort of ruins your confidence, and you're thinking so much about that and not about what the play is intended to do. And those are things that, they'll just have to keep working at it. I'm sure they will, and they'll get better at that.
They'll get better.
And when they do, I think that they'll be able to concentrate a little bit more on the game itself.
They got a tough road test next week. They go to midfield, and midfield about the last 3 to 4 years
have been pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
And how did midfield do tonight? Did you say?
Midfield tonight won big over Tarrant, 22-0.
And Tarrant is
they're 2A. And,
and they usually have some pretty good athletes.
They do, and and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that that game tonight was on the road at Tarrant. So big win for midfield at Tarrant. Crosstown rival, and they'll have another home game next week as Holly Pond makes that trip to midfield.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get that Holly Pond film. If we do, we show it a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then we'd also we're able to go down, and when we left there, we went down to Hansville, watch Hansville and Fairview, and Fairview was able to come out on top pretty big on this. So we're going to talk a little bit with Coach Redding, and I hope if we can get a hold of him on the phone here and talk a little bit about his team and how they performed tonight.
Hey, Coach Redding.
Yes, sir.
Hey, congratulations on a big win.
Hey, thank you so much.
Hey, and for the record, I thought you guys played really well last week too.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
I didn't get just a matter of getting some things corrected and shored up, and it putting the points on that you put on the board tonight, indicative of you got things going in the right direction. So,
I appreciate you noticing, Coach. I think we played well, or played hard last week. Felt like we had some opportunities, just didn't capitalize on.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was telling Coach Smothers and sharing with him as we was headed to Hanceville that, had some drives deep into the territory. I don't remember how many. It was 3 or 4, I think, that you were well inside the 30 and just didn't come away with anything, and and some opportunities there toward the end of the ball game. And I said, well, he's got him a good group and playing hard, and they'll learn to finish.
Yeah, no doubt. That's exactly what we were missing, and I felt like we was able to do that a little bit tonight. So hopefully we're still growing, man.
Well, I was very impressed with number 20. Is that Tyvin Ellis?
That's Tyvin Ellis. Yeah, Coach. He's a hard-nosed runner. He just he'll do anything that you ask him to do, and he just does it at a high level.
Hey, well, how much does he weigh? I mean, he's got to.
Yeah, he's not. Now listen, he's a strong. I mean, he's a 205 power cleaner. He is strong, and
well, I tell you, he plays like he's 220. I mean, he runs the ball hard.
We always say he runs like a 190-pound bike, but he's not.
Well, his vision was what I was most impressed with.
We feel like this has been his best year of just seeing things.
Yeah. And who's your quarterback this year?
It's Parker Martin, number 9.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's a sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay. And that's sort of how you've been working things out there since you've been there, isn't it? You usually have a sophomore or junior at most. You play them 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, yes, sir. That's probably been some of our most productive years. We had 2 rounds of where our quarterback was a 3-year starter, and then we had 3 other quarterbacks that were 2-year starters. So I think if you can have a little bit of consistency at that position, I think it really goes a long way.
It does.
It does, and you guys do a good job coaching them up. You had a little bit of opportunity, I assume, while he's waiting on his call to kind of look ahead a little bit and peek into next week's window of starting region play. And you guys are going to be, you guys are going to be on the road at DAR.
Yes, sir.
They're coming off a big win over Douglas tonight. Both of you guys sitting there at 1-1. Got to be feeling pretty good going into region play after tonight's performance.
Yeah, I feel like it's just time. It's just a different time. When you get into region play and and things have got to really tighten up. But DAR is going to be they're really well coached. I really like Coach Poole. I've had a great relationship with him since he was at Madison County and then Abbeville, and so he's just a good guy. And they do things right. So they're going to be athletic, and they're always a very physical football team. So
early in the season, that's when we're probably most prone to make some turnover mistakes. And you had a couple of turnovers that sort of kept you, not actually turnovers, just missed snaps and stuff that kept you from getting some points earlier in the second half. But then, I was extremely impressed with the interception and the return that, who was it that intercepted the ball and returned it for a touchdown there?
That was Dalton Payne, and Coach, and that's probably one of the most humble kids we got. He's just a hard worker. He's a quiet. You look around, and he's got it done, and he just figures a way to get it. He's really come alive, and he is the second year to start for us, and I think he's just really taken his game to another level on the defensive side. And then also on the offensive side, I think one touchdown got brought back, but, you know, if it wasn't for that, I think he scored 3 times. But I just can't say enough about where his game is at, and then also just kind of where we played as a whole defensively.
All right, one other thing before we leave is because these kids just hardly ever get their name mentioned, but the offensive line, you mind giving us just sort of a quick spread of the offensive line?
Yeah, we're very happy with that group and what they're getting done. We actually had one of our starters that got sick and was not, you know, Adam Parker was not able to be with us tonight, but, you know, Charles Dukes and Will Bailey, Todd Bagwell, Ethan Bice, Levi Garner, those are the guys that played majority of the snaps tonight, and really couldn't ask for them to do any more. You know, I think, you know, we struggled a little bit for about a quarter and a half with Hansel and some things they were doing, but I was very proud with our offensive line, you know, and our O-line coach really sorted some things out and kind of got some things going for us.
Well, I noticed that if you did have pressure or anything, it usually came from outside, the corner. And, you know, of course, that's not your offensive line. For the most part, that's probably one of the backs or something. It's, or it could just be that, you know, they happen to have a great stunt. But, you know, that's where I saw most of the pressure coming from Hansville tonight. So
you're right. Our guys worked really hard on working with that edge pressure, and I put us in some bad situations with trying to get our back in the route combination by you know, motioning them out of the backfield, which put us just in a 5-man protection, which is, you know, tough when you're seeing pressure. So, you know, I felt like our guys overcome some of my poor calling there, and so I was excited for them to be able to do that.
Well, probably the hardest thing in the world to do is for a center to snap the ball and then get back and make that backside block on, you know, outside pressure or something, if that's how you're supposed to do it, or if you're just doing, you know, he's got to block that tackle that's not lined up on the outside eye of the guard. So, you know, either of those blocks are awful hard to do after you have to make a good snap.
Yeah, I totally agree, Coach. It really puts the guys in a tough situation, but I felt like they really overcame some things and really just kind of help us move the ball, you know, constantly throughout the night.
Yes, and you know, I really think that was the difference in the game. And congratulations, you start region play next week, and we're looking to see Fairview back in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, Coach, we appreciate it. You know, I definitely want to just, you know, make a comment with, you know, we really challenged our defense this week, and our defensive coordinator really just kind of come in and set the tone this week for what we felt like we needed to do, and couldn't be more proud of that side of the ball. And I just felt like that they, especially when we were struggling early, they kept us in the game, and I just felt like those guys, hats off to that side of the football tonight.
Yeah, I thought they played solid last week. I was impressed with your front guys last week too, Coach. You know, stop and run and, you know, plugging gaps and you know, seemed to have taken that to a step further this week, playing good ball, both sides. I
tell you what I was probably most impressed with defensively was good, solid tackles. Mm-hmm. There weren't a lot of missed tackles, but there were some really good hits that stopped the player, you know, the way tackling's supposed to be. And I just thought they had several really good tackles tonight.
I appreciate you noticing that. We actually talked about that after the game. I felt like our guys played really, really physical, and they had good energy, and they felt like they had a passion to get to the football.
Yeah, I've been impressed with them 2 weeks, Coach. Look forward to seeing you again.
Well, thank you for being with us tonight, Coach, and good luck next week as you start into area region play, and hope to talk with you several more times.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, now we got a little bit of the footage of that Holly Pun game that we were going to play earlier. As you see the captains for Holly Pun out there right now and gathering around Coach Bates about to watch this guy kick off. I was extremely impressed.
Best kick I've seen in 2 years. I mean, it's touchback.
Yes.
Right
and
here,
it was
sky high.
Yes, great kick. And later he has a field goal. I'm not sure how it is because we didn't see it.
I know they lined up, was going to try a 51-yarder, whether they were serious about it or not. They wound up faking it on a fake punt after a timeout, but he could kick, sure enough. Levi Boatwright in motion, and Kyler Chaney got pressure off the edge there a couple times tonight. They either managed to get to him and some obvious passing downs.
Yep. And first couple of plays there, I think they had Boatwright carrying the football.
Mm-hmm. Levi Boatwright.
And he's a 10th grader, sophomore.
Young kid.
And he ran hard, ran well. And here's our safety that we got. Happened to be on a bad punt. And
we don't have a number. I mean, we got a number on him, but we don't have a name associated with that number. But number 6 played pretty solid ball on the defensive side tonight for Holly Pond, and there we saw him carrying it what we used to call end around. I think y'all call it the old Sally play, didn't you, Coach, or something like that?
Depending on who it was, but yes, we did have a Sally play. And just depend. I mean, we also, Sally is what we primarily called it when we was in the wing tee, if we happened to be in the wing. But, reverses, and we called it like 65 or something like that.
Right.
66, 65. Those were the wingman carrying the ball back across on the other side.
Boy, here both sides tonight, Holly Pond and I are having a little difficulty hanging on to the ball, and some things that are correctable and things that you can coach up. And I'm sure Coach Bates and his crew will have Holly Pond working on that this week and get them where they need to be offensively and defensively. But in order to do that, you got to hang on to the football.
Yep. All right. Well, we got a little bit of action here now with FCA.
Sure do.
What we call Fellowship of Christian
Athletes.
And instead of one, we happen to talk with 3 tonight for just a little bit. So here's our FCA Athletes of the Week from Holly Pond, Leathers, Chaney, and Boatwright. For the Holly Pond Broncos. And Levi Leathers, who is a running back, what year? Sophomore running back. God, that's big for a sophomore. Yeah. Oh, a junior. Okay, no wonder. He may be a junior again next year. All right, and then we have Kyler Chaney, and he is a quarterback and senior. And then we have Colin Leathers, and Colin is a senior
and
offensive tackle. Okay. We'll put a little weight on this. It's okay. All right, guys. I want to ask you just one thing. What do y'all like best about this year's team? And I am going to tell you, the mic is in the camera, so speak up pretty loudly, okay?
Yes, sir.
What do y'all like best about this year's team?
I'd say we're all pretty connected, like we're all close with each other. Pretty much a family. Just the vibe commitment we have every single day of practice shows in the game.
We work hard every day. We've worked for this, and we just keep it.
Okay. Now then, let me ask, you're a 3-year starter?
Yes, sir.
All right. Or 4?
3 years? 4 years.
4 years. That's why he started 3 years prior to this year. This is his 4th year to be a starter. So I'm going to ask you, what does commitment to a team look like?
It's everything. It shows you when we're winning or losing. If we're losing, you see no commitment. And when you're winning, it's when you have full commitment in the team. For sure.
Okay. And what does commitment to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ look like?
It's basically doing everything you can to be a good Christian and telling other people about that and trying to make them do that as well.
And how about setting an example on the team? When somebody, do you ever call anybody out and say, you don't need to be doing that?
Oh, yes, sir. We have to do that.
That's what leadership is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, all right, does that ever bring any pressure on you, being a Christian athlete? Do you ever feel any pressure brought on you because of that?
Oh, yes, sir. I feel a little bit with the world we live in now, but I try to push past that and keep doing what I'm doing. In my opinion, I don't feel no pressure. Every day it just revolves around pressure, so you just learn to adapt with it and just grow on it and just go with it.
The pressure it's not bad, and once you learn to live with it and you learn to spread the word and help people, then your life lives easier.
Okay. And I asked, is it uncomfortable? It doesn't sound uncomfortable to me. It sounds to me like it's something that you grow with.
Yes, sir.
And as you grow and other people sort of follow into your leadership, because there's some kids that don't want to do things that would be bad, but everybody else is doing it. So setting an example, a positive example, is real strong. And the more y'all have of that, the better you're going to have as far as teamwork.
Yes, sir.
Playing for who? And y'all are familiar with Colossians 3:23, aren't you? Whatever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might, as if working for the Lord, not for man. And I know, when you get athletics, that draws out the best. But every day of life, it ought to be the same way. All right, let me ask you one other question. What kind of goals have y'all set for this year's team?
Have a winning season, definitely.
Okay.
Coming from where we came from, losing 27 in a row, our goal is to go game by game and win it and try to do our best and change this program around.
Lee Dunn?
We're going to try to win a playoff game this year.
Okay. And it's sort of a young team,
Yes,
but it needs senior leadership. Senior leadership can really change a team. And then the young athletes can help make it what it can be. But, one of the things I hope y'all understand, and I also think the joy of being a part of a team is being a part of a team that does their absolute best, no matter what it is. If there's, if other teams are better, hey, we did our best. And, we're not glad to lose, but we're glad, we're proud of our team and our teammates. Hope y'all feel that way.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for being with us, and I appreciate good luck tonight and good luck for the rest of the year.
First six-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers. They're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your card. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
All right, here we are back, and we're going to talk just a little bit about region standings, which nobody's played yet. So
that's why I was going to say everybody's undefeated in region play right now, about to change.
Well, let's look and see who they open up with.
All right, it's got Cold Springs next week, going to open up at home with Southeastern.
And Southeastern had a big win tonight.
Yep,
so.
they're sitting there right now on the season, I do believe. Either 1-0, 2-0, or 1-1. I'll let you know here in a minute. They're 1-1 after their big win over Brindley Mountain tonight.
And Aliceville probably is going to be pretty tough in that region.
I would think Aliceville in that region right there is probably going to be the odds-on favorite, and then you know, everybody else battling out for second, third, and fourth. A lot of that will begin to take shape even as early as week 1 in region play. You got Addison going to have Winston County at home next week. Not a region game.
Not a region, that's
for
right.
either one. You know, they'll begin region play the next week, but it's an opportunity to get better. It's a big rival. It's what high school football is all about, being able to play your rival. But I would say them and Colbert County and Red Bay probably in the mix right there as far as who's going to battle for that #1 spot in that particular region. In 3A Region 5, you got Hanceville going to open up region play at J.B. Pennington. You got Holly Pond going to be at Midfield. Vinemont's going to be at Westbrook Christian in a non-region matchup game. I know Max Prep's got them at 2-0, but they're not 2-0. They're 1-0 with a big win tonight. As last week they played East Lawrence in a jamboree game.
And actually didn't win it, so.
And they actually didn't win it, so I don't know where that mark come from. But anyway, I'm going to throw a surprise in this one. I'm going to say that Vinemont is going to be in the mix at some point, and they'll have to prove me wrong, but they're going to be in the mix for that 1 and 2 spot in that particular region. I think Midfield possibly be in that mix a little bit, but, you know, they struggled a little bit last week with Hill County in a preseason game. You
and
got Fultondale
has usually been there.
but they came off a horrendous loss to Maplesville. But Maplesville, you know, a power in 1A.
Yeah, defending state 1A champ for the last 2 or 3 years.
Forever it seems like. But I think Vinemont will be in that mix, and if not, they'll be in the top 4.
Okay, good.
All right. We're looking at 4A Region 5. Good Hope right now will open next week at Cordova. They'll be opening up down there in Walker County at the pit.
Get to find out a little bit about themselves.
Get to find out a little bit. You know, struggled a little bit tonight as they played their second game at home and had Priceville at home, maybe looking a little bit down the road a little bit, but Coach them had to coach them up, got them ready at second half. They pulled away late in the fourth quarter. But I think they'll be in the mix in that particular region. It's yet to be seen what Fayette County is going to bring to the table in consistency, and I would say probably north side, based on what's returning from last year, would probably be the favorite heading into region play. Let's go and look at Region 7 in 4A. We've got Fairview coming off a big win tonight. They'll be on the road at DAR next week. North Jackson coming off a surprise loss to me, even though it was at Plainview on the road. Plainview, historically a great program. But I would say the odds-on favorite still in that particular region for the region crown probably going to center around North Jackson and St. John Paul II. You got 5A Region 7, and I hope every county school proves me wrong because I'm rooting for every county school to win the region. We've got West Point coming off a loss tonight at Arab. They're 1-1 right now. They will be on the road with Hamilton next week. And right now, 2 surprises. Corner and Door are 2-0. Of course, they're 0-0 in region play, but I would have to say that Jasper's going to have a lot to say who's going to be in that #1 spot.
I'd say too.
Looking at 6A Region 7, Coleman opens with Decatur next week. Could get their first win at home against Decatur.
And it's a region game.
And it's a region game, and right now, I think everybody in that region's chasing Muscle Shoals.
I believe you're right. Okay. Well, all right. We're going to take a break right quick and be right back.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
generation GMC Sierra.
At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our top priority. Online statements eliminate the risk of your financial information getting lost in the mail. The statement can be viewed online at home or on the go, and you'll receive your statements faster each month. Plus, signing up is easy. At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our priority. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for internet messaging and data may apply.
All right, we're back now, and we're going to go over one of our little things that we do, and that's Unsung Heroes. And tonight, our Unsung Heroes are the officials. They don't get a lot of thanks, do they?
No, not a lot. But what folks don't realize, you can't play a game without those striped
We got to
shirts.
have them, yep. And you know, they do a good job. If they ever mess up, that just sort of, that's the only thing we remember.
That's right.
But you know, they do a fantastic job of letting the kids play. So good to have the officials with us.
Yes,
Next
sir.
thing we're going to talk about, SEC football. We're actually going to get to mention a few tonight.
All right. Good.
All right,
good weekend.
Alabama and Duke in Atlanta.
Alabama.
All right, Arkansas and Portland State in Fayetteville.
Man, you got to go with Arkansas.
I think Arkansas is going to be improved this year. Auburn and Oregon at Arlington, Texas.
Yes, Pac-12. Pac-12 can't run with the SEC. Auburn big.
Defensively, that's going to be different.
Yeah, they're better.
Okay.
Auburn's just
And of course,
light
we
years.
were right on Florida over Miami.
Oh yeah.
Georgia and Vandy in Nashville.
Close maybe for a quarter, but Georgia's going to outdistance Vandy.
I figure it'd be close during warm-ups,
Yeah.
and then it'll be Georgia. Kentucky is playing Toledo in Lexington.
Kentucky.
I agree with you on that. LSU, Georgia Southern in Baton Rouge.
I tell you what, Georgia Southern plays everybody tough, but I think it'll be close for, once again, maybe midway through the first quarter, but LSU.
Ole Miss is playing Memphis in Memphis.
Woo! That could be a trap game, but I'm going
could
with
be.
Ole Miss.
Well, I'm going to pick the SEC, but you're right, that could be a
That could be a
toughie.
tough one.
Mississippi State is playing Louisiana Lafayette in New Orleans.
Okay, well, I'll go Mississippi State. Mississippi State, better, I believe, up front, both sides of the ball.
Missouri with Kelly Bryant is going to be playing in Laramie, Wyoming against the University of Wyoming.
Coach Bowl will have them coached up out there, ready to roll, but I'll go with Missouri.
I also, South Carolina, North Carolina in Charlotte.
Not going to light up the chapel at Chapel Hill, the big tower. They ain't going to get to light it up blue this week. I'll go with South Carolina.
Tennessee and Georgia State in Knoxville.
Not a contest, Tennessee.
And Vandy, again, we went already. Vandy and Georgia playing each other. Okay. We went with SEC all the way. The only
SEC.
one that we didn't go with SEC is we didn't choose Georgia. I mean, Vandy.
Vandy.
Because we was picking Georgia. Okay. Y'all can check us out on that and see how many we're right on and let us know when we're wrong. Appreciate you watching tonight. Hope you'll be back with us next week for another round of Beyond the Scoreboard.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our